Israel-Gaza Iran War News Live Update. United States issues warning to Israel over Hezbollah UAV landing in northern Jerusalem. Iran may become entangled in the conflict in the north. One Hezbollah UAV penetrated 35 kilometers into Israeli territory before detonating near Afula. In response, the Israeli Defense Forces attacked Hezbollah positions. Pro-Palestinian demonstrators will gather outside the White House. A weekend demonstration by pro-Palestinian protesters calling for an end to the Israeli occupation of Gaza and the United States backing of Israel has prompted extra security precautions, such as anti-scale fencing, in preparation for their planned encirclement of the White House. On Friday, advocacy and activist groups such as Code Pink and the Council on American Islamic Relations announced plans for demonstrations on Saturday. The war in Gaza, which Israel has been waging for 8 months, has resulted in tens of thousands of deaths and a humanitarian catastrophe characterized by widespread starvation and ruins. The U.S. Secret Service has increased public safety measures near the White House complex in anticipation of activities this weekend in Washington, D.C., that could attract large crowds, according to a representative for the agency. An unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, belonging to Hezbollah breached Israeli airspace and touched down in open territory close to Afula. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, were unable to prevent the incursion. Although there were no recorded injuries, locals were critical of the evacuation orders, and the Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, retaliated with airstrikes. 2 projectiles were observed crossing from Lebanon into northern Israel and both fell in open regions. The IDF confirmed this on Friday night, following the sonication of rocket and missile sirens in northern Israel. A UAV failed in its interception attempt after flying over Lebanon and crashed in open parts of the Jezreel Valley, following indications of rocket and missile fire in the Galilee region. Also, in the Shamra region, another unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, crashed after flying over from Lebanon, approximately 35 kilometers into Israeli territory, near the settlement of Sulam, east of Afula. The Hezbollah UAV went boom. No one heard the UAV go boom, therefore investigators are trying to determine if it was a spy plane. Environmental conflict, the toll that Hezbollah's rockets and unmanned aerial vehicles have taken on northern Israel. The environment has suffered greatly in the past week as a result of the recent fires that have swept over northern Israel as a result of the barges launched by Hezbollah. The Fire and Rescue Authority has put out scores of fires since Monday. The Rosh Hanakra forest burned 1,400 dunams and the Ramat Naftali woodland about 500 acres from the start of the war onwards, which were relatively major fires. The director of the northern region of KKLJNF, Shelley Ben-Ishai, states that these were the first fires that occurred. Foreseeing what may happen throughout the summer, we foresters were eager for the conflict to conclude in April. The Second Lebanon War of 2006 was a painful event that taught us the hazards of massive fires. The conflict is far from over, and the previous month has been absolutely wild with fires, which have just gotten worse in the past several days. Over the previous week, the environment suffered greatly due to the recent fires that broke out after Hezbollah's barges. The Fire and Rescue Authority has been actively battling numerous fires since Monday.